all of us to do our work. And we need to send a message that now is the time to settle a contract. We need a fair contract, and we need it now so that we can go about the business of teaching and students can go about the business of learning. It didn't just happen that we're here today. I never thought we would have to do something like this at MPC. But it's been over 4 years in the making. For 4 years, we've not had a fair contract. In fact, you have to go back to 2007 when we actually were given a legitimate raise. For years, we had a salary formula. That salary formula was very fair. It said if there's new money, a certain percentage of it, a fair share percentage goes to employees. Unfortunately, and for years, there was nothing because there was no money. We said that's okay, we accept that. We have a salary formula, it shows there's no new money, we accept that. In 2011, we were told we had a structural deficit, and we believed it then. And so we took a 2% salary cut. We did that to help out the college because we care about MPC. In 2012, again, the administration said, we have a structural deficit. We believed them, and so again, we took a 2% salary cut. In the subsequent years, our salary formula showed we were actually owed money. They refused to pay it. We have a contract, we have a salary formula that for years said no new money. Did we disagree with that? No, we accepted it. Suddenly, we have a salary formula that shows there is money, and we were not respected. When you have a contract, you respect that contract. If you don't respect that contract, you are disrespecting the people that work here at MPC and deliver the instruction. That's wrong. Not only once, but twice, we were told, nope, we're not going to pay you what we owe you by contract. We had to bring in the state and go through a long mediation process in order to get what we were owed. We didn't even get all we were owed. We took less than what we were owed. We allowed them to pay us later than we were owed. And now, once again, they refuse to listen to us and negotiate in good faith. At the beginning of this year, they said they would give us 2% this year, 2% next year, and 2% the third year. By April, that had fallen to 1%. By May, it had fallen to 1% for part-timers. And then when we met in June, it's 0%. How do you do that? How do you go backwards like that? We, on the other hand, have compromised. We've lowered our demands in order to try to get a contract. So we are here today because this situation has become untenable. It is affecting our ability to recruit and retain students. We are losing good faculty, and that hurts students. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for supporting us. Lauren?
All right, so we need to remember what it is that we're supporting, right? At the most basic level, it's respect for faculty. The kind of bare minimum respect of offering a current contract, which we haven't had in a really long time. We have also offered a very moderate proposal. Right? We put it on the table. It's lower than any faculty member on this campus deserves, but it is a moderate proposal in the hopes of getting an agreement, because ultimately that's what we want, right? We're not a radical bunch of faculty, right? Take a look around, right? We are not the picture of radicals, right? We want, right, an agreement with the administration so that we can move on, right? 4 years of negotiations is a waste of time. It's a waste of effort. At some point, we have to call a spade and come to an agreement. So, right, we have asked for a 1% salary increase this year, a 2% salary increase next year, and salary schedule compression, which means eliminating those years that faculty don't receive any increase at all, right? And that would put us in line with what other colleges are doing, and it would leave us 10% lower paid than Hartnell and, right, closer to 18% lower paid than Gavilan, right? So, right, it would not bring us up to par, it would stop the bleeding. Right, that's really what this is about. We are falling every year closer and closer to the bottom of California statewide comparisons. So this is about stopping that decline, and it's about producing some kind of salary increase for faculty that we can build on. Right? For part-time faculty, it's about preventing them from becoming the very lowest paid part-time faculty in the state of California, because they are currently the second lowest paid. Wow. Part-time faculty in the state of California. So we've asked for a 5% increase this year and a 3% increase next year, right, to boost, right, the overall salaries of people who do the work of teaching most classes at MPC. When the board or the administration represent MPCTA, they like to emphasize full-time faculty, but most of the people we represent, most of the people who teach the classes are part-time faculty. And this is a contract that's about supporting them so that they don't have to work at 4 colleges, so that they don't have to try desperately to make ends meet so that they can live in this area. Right? That's what this is about, right? So it's about a bare minimum of respect. It's about a moderate request for salary increases, and it's about protecting our part-time faculty who have been left unprotected for too long. And none of that is wildly inappropriate to be asking for in a year where there is more money coming from the state of California to California community colleges. That won't always be true. We all know that California goes through big contractions in public education funding. But that's not this year, right? This year is an expansion of public education funding, and some of that money has to go to the people who teach classes. So thank you very, very much for coming. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to say?
I have a question. Do you know how much money we got this year from the state? MPC got additional monies?
So there was an $800,000 increase to the apportionment cap.
According to the district.
According to this is the district's budget
not our
presentation.
numbers. Like, they say they got more money.
And then on top of that, there was a 1.58% COLA, which is about $600,000. So 1.4 million. And to put that in perspective, to give faculty a 1% raise is about $170,000.
170,000?
To give just faculty a 1% raise.
Well,
And they got
1.4
1.4 million?
I'm sorry. One of the strategies of management is to continue to delay negotiations, delay, and that's how they make out that money. So when they finally gift it to you, they're usually in the better column rather than the people who are receiving it. So they just kind of stall it out. So it sounds like that's part of the
That is
history
what's
here.
been going on.
Yeah.
And really, we need to make a stand, because it is not unheard of in the state of California for these types of contract disputes to go on kind of endlessly, right? Siskiyou's College has been without a contract for more than 10 years, right? So it's not like at some point they're going to be reasonable. At some point they're going to make sure that we're taken care of. We have to make sure that we're being taken care of.
Anyone else have anything they'd like to say?
Excuse me.
Otherwise, I'd like to maybe, if you would like to send us off, you could send us off, your negotiating team, with a little bit of support. I'm going to say, what do we want? You're going to say contract. I'm going to say, when do we want it? You're going to say, now. What do we want?
Contract!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Contract!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Contract!
When do we want it?
Now!
All right.
And isn't there a board meeting next Wednesday?
There is a board meeting on Wednesday, and we do hope those of you who can show up to that will show up at the board meeting.
And
at
contact
1:30.
your representative trustees.
You know, when teachers first, in 1975, when teachers, school employees and farm workers got the right to bargain collectively, the teachers here at MPC were the first to vote to be able to bargain collectively.
He started our union.
Part of it, well,
He
it was
started, it was Dave
in
Clements.
75?
Yeah,
Yeah, 75, 76.
yeah.
There you go, what a small world, huh?
Art McLaughlin told me that, yeah. I voted in the farm worker election that year. I was a member of the United Farm Workers Union, but I knew the teachers, I mean, it was like two things going on at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen.
Thank you all.
What do we want? Contracts. Do we want them?